Hello and welcome. My name is Ajaxpost and you join me today taking a particular look at a new DLC for Airport CEO. Released on the 24th of June, Airport CEO Vintage harks back and gives you a glimpse into what many consider to be the golden age of flight. Using aircraft based around sort of the 1930s through to the 1980s fleets, Airport CEO Vintage gives you an opportunity to play with 7 new aircraft, and they are the Douglas DC-3, the de Havilland Comet, oh, and there's one arriving right now, Lockheed L1049, the Super Constellation, a Boeing 707, a little Ford Trimotor, the Boeing 377 Stratocaster, and also the Vickers VC-10. So what have we turning up here? This is a DC-3. And doesn't it look good? I'll give you a sort of uncluttered look at each aircraft as they leave the airport. But yes, it's priced at £5.79 here in the UK, which might seem a little bit expensive considering the content that's included, which is basically just those 7 aircraft, and also as a result, as part of the last patch to the game, just recently released, this new stand here, a vintage concrete stand. That's the ordinary concrete stand, so it just looks a little bit older than the others. The old aircraft, the vintage aircraft, can use any stand you like. If we go here to the stands, what we have here, we have the normal selection of small, medium and large, but there is a special new vintage medium stand as well, so you just put that down when you want to use it if you're looking for a particular vintage feel for your airport. There are no other concessions to the golden age of flying apart from those, but there you are. As far as I'm aware, I've only seen one mod on the workshop which uses these aircraft to put them into new or realistic livery. To get them otherwise, you have to make contracts with one of 5 new airlines that are available to you. If we go into contracts, I've already got contracts with 3 of them. They're variations upon the existing airlines that come with the base game. They include Nordic Vintage, which gives me the Ford Trimotor, the DC-3 and the 707, possibly. OK Air gives me the DC-3, which is what we see, the Comet 4 and the Vickers VC-10. Maple Vintage gives me, again, the Ford Trimotor and the Super Constellation, the Lockheed L1049. There are also 2 other vintage airlines, which are Tulip, which gives us, again, the Super Constellation and the 377 Stratocaster, which I'm particularly keen on seeing, so we'll sign a contract with Tulip. And Swiftly Vintage is the other of the new airlines. Shall we sign that one as well? Oh, why not? Okay. Being as these are kind of old planes, there are no large vintage aircraft to play with. Bit of a shame, but, you know, I suppose that's realism for you, isn't it? Okay, so we'll just wait for this one to depart the stand. So boarding has commenced for our DC-3 from OK Air. All very nice. And we'll just follow him. Makes a proper old-fashioned propeller aircraft engine sound, doesn't it? It's one of the beauties of the game. It's the attention to detail. There he is, pausing to rev up. And away he goes. And that's our DC-3. And our next flight has landed. And that is the de Havilland Comet. So we'll just let him get to the stand. We'll have a closer look at him once he's turned up and disembarked. So here he is, sat on the vintage concrete stand. Again, very nice looking jet aeroplane model. as I recall, a very... I wasn't alive in the 1930s, but I remember talk of comets when I was a young lad. Very popular aircraft, I think, for many airlines across the world. Let's get him serviced. And once again, we'll catch up with him once he's ready to depart the airport. Oops, I was monitoring some other aspect of the airport operation and didn't notice our third vintage aircraft turning up at our airport, and this is a little Ford trimotor. Again, a lovely little small prop aircraft. We'll catch him in movement momentarily. And our Comet is boarding, ready to head off to wherever it's going. Oh, in the meantime, something else arrived. What are you? Aha! We have here our Stratocaster, the 377. This is a wonderfully unique aircraft design, I think. I mean, I'm not familiar with aircraft design in any way, shape or fashion, but this sort of all glass cockpit is, I think, quite novel, certainly in passenger aircraft. That's quite a little beast, isn't it? We'll catch up with him momentarily, but in the meantime, let's follow the Comet out of the airport. One thing I hadn't noticed while I've been playing the game so far, which has only been for a month or two now, is the particle effects from the exhausts. That is a nice extra touch. Like that a lot. So that's our Comet out of the way. How's our Stratocaster doing? He's being fed and watered. All very nice. And we should be seeing our trimotor departing the airport sometime soonish. Yep, he's begun boarding. Once again, we will follow him onto the runway. Oh, and as you can see, there are 3 engines on that. I hadn't actually noticed that before. I assumed there were, but they're very close to the wing there. Interesting design. Again, not that I know anything about aircraft design. And this morning we have another new vintage aircraft arriving, the Vickers VC-10. The engines at the back, nice design. Yep, it's getting the full works again. Once you're all sorted out, once again we will follow you off onto the runway. One of the things I like about Airport CEO is that detail, as I've mentioned before. And the fact, for example, this aircraft has the baggage loaded towards the front. I'm sure there's a good reason for that. Actually, it must be, because the engine's at the back, that's the weight, isn't it, I suppose? Yeah, it kind of makes sense, though the other balancing would be... again, don't listen to me, I know nothing. Oh, we have a Stratocaster arriving. Go, and we will follow him on his journey once he's been fully serviced and boarded. And we can see him in the lovely bright daylight we have here in Baden-Baden Airport. Oh, there goes our VC-10. Let's follow you out, shall we? Just waiting for our Strato. Can I call you that? It's a little bit informal, I know, but you know, got to call you something. And there you see the baggage is being loaded right at the rear of the aircraft. It must be all to do with balancing of distribution of weight and so on. Gosh, I'm sounding almost like an expert. Now, while we're waiting for our 377 to depart, what do we have here? It's a super Constellation, a Lockheed L1049. Everyone's looking very busy around this particular aircraft. And there goes the Constellation. Sorry, the Stratocaster. So let's follow you, shall we? I'm sure back in the day this was a very impressive looking aircraft. As I say, quite a novel design. Well, it strikes me as novel. Waiting here for our Constellation to take to the skies once more. And as we wait for our Super Constellation to depart the airport, we have a new arrival, the Boeing 707. Now this one's coming in from Nordic. Oh, and our Constellation is on its way. Let's pay attention to you, I think, then. We'll just follow our Super Constellation out of the airport. Closely followed by what looks like a Cessna. Oh, it has little bits of string, keeping the tail in place. How interesting. You'll live and learn. Well, well, well. It looks like our 707 is ready to depart. Pushbacks in place. Excellent. Let's follow this guy out. They do look lovely, don't they? All lit up like that. And that, I think, just about wraps it up for this moderately quick review of the Airport CEO Vintage DLC. Released on the 24th of June, costing here in the UK £5.79, or whatever your local equivalent to that might be. You'll get, as part of this, 7 vintage aircraft who epitomise the golden age of flying between the 1930s and the 1980s. The Douglas DC-3, the de Havilland Comet, the Lockheed L1049 Super Constellation, which is what we see in front of us here, the Boeing 707, a Ford Trimotor, a lovely little 3-prop engine airplane, and the Boeing 377 Stratocaster, and the Vickers VC-10. And in addition, you'll also see this concrete medium stand added to your collection. So that's it, the Airport CEO Vintage DLC. If you've enjoyed this quick look, please let me know by leaving us a like. That's always welcome. Just click on the old thumbs up button. Even better though, if you've got any thoughts about the DLC or anything to say about the game really at all, then do let me know. Just drop a note into the comments box below. That's always welcome. And of course, if you've not already subscribed to the channel, you could do that now. And that way you'll know when I upload another one of these or any of my other Let's Play series. But from me, Ajaxpost, here in Airport CEO. Until the next time, bye bye for now.